I am probably one of the biggest advocates for constitutional silver. It's one of my favorite things to stack. It's the bread and butter of many other stacks as well. It's extremely liquid, it's recognizable, it's no longer made, and well, the designs are some of the best things the US Mint has ever put out for the older silver. But even I must admit that there's no such thing as perfect silver, and with all the pros, there are also cons. So let's get out the scale and get to the video. What's going on, guys? I'm Stateside. Welcome to my channel, and don't worry, I'm not trying to get you to like and subscribe. But if you have an unhealthy addiction to gold, silver, and numismatics as much as I do, then I promise you're in the right place. And as viewers, you don't get the recognition as you deserve, so I want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my content. Helps me out tremendously. With all that being said, let's roll it. It pains me to do this video, guys. I really do love constitutional silver. It's my favorite, but it's a silver of many names. Constitutional silver, junk silver, 90% silver, the best silver in the world. Okay, I may have thrown that last one in there. And for those doing research on junk silver and what it is dollars, half dollars, quarters, and dimes made by the US Mint prior to 1965 and are 90% silver. So I believe it or not, it used to be the most affordable way to buy silver, and that is until premiums on 1 ounce silver coins started to go up and people, they started looking for alternative ways to stack silver, and the premiums just really started going up. You used to be able to get this under spot, believe it or not. So it's still somewhat affordable to those that are still looking to buy it, but it has two flaws. One is somewhat common knowledge, and the other one will actually shock you. So first problem I've run into is how you purchase your constitutional silver, or you could say where. Me personally, I buy from my local coin shop, but they don't sell by weight. They just sell by a face value, meaning I am paying the same for a brilliant uncirculated 90% coin, whether it's a half dollar, quarter, or a dime, as I would for one that is extremely worn down. Like I said, some people sell by the face value, other people sell by the weight, and that comes in handy when you are buying some really worn down coins. None of my local coin shops sell by the weight, and well, you just can't win it all. It sucks, but it's not all that bad, because believe it or not, I will get like some Walkers and Mercury dimes in just great condition at a better price. Some would get if they were paying for weight. So it tends to kind of balance itself out. I could buy online, but the price for a roll of BU constitutional silver of any size, it's even a little much for myself. That's why if I want a perfect example of a coin, I will buy a graded coin in that condition if I wanted to really preserve what it looked like. So my recommendations for that problem is, call your local coin shop and see how they sell their junk silver, or look online and see what the condition people sell in bulk. Like online bullion dealers will usually sell in their grades of BU for brilliant uncirculated, or you'll see XF, which means extremely fine. So extremely fine, sorry. And the second is the tremendous amount of wear these coins have taken. These have been used in transaction after transaction after transaction. They've been shaking around in people's pockets with other change or keys, knives. They've been dropped, kicked around, you name it, for over 100 years. Now, obviously, the older the coin, the more wear you'll get. That's why they maybe not be that glamorous, but that's why people suggest getting Kennedy's, the half dollars, Washington quarters, and Roosevelt dimes if you want the most silver if you're buying constitutional. So I'll show you. These are your Walkers right here. These are your Franklins, and then these are your Kennedys. And I said Roosevelt's. I'm not going to pick that one up. It took me a long time to stack these, so well, here's your Washington quarter, and then here's a good example of a Mercury right here. And you guys have all seen Roosevelt dimes. I'm not going to risk dump that up. We'll do that at the end of the video. I'll give it a little tap right there. So although wear may not sound like a big deal, you need to know you're losing silver. So I'm going to show you stacks of Mercury dimes versus Roosevelts. I took side pictures. And then along with the Walkers, the Franklins, and the Kennedy half dollars side by side, just so you can get a real visual representation of what you are losing. So I took pictures of all these side by side on the scale. So first I did the dimes. So I have 50 of each. Roosevelts are on the right, Mercuries are on the left. In the picture you can already see there's like a 3 coin difference. Then I weighed them against each other, but you can clearly see that the Roosevelt dimes are higher than the Mercury dimes. So now there's better scales out there. It's kind of a disclaimer here. I used a regular kitchen scale. Also, you need to know that there's 28 grams in an ounce, but there's 31.1 grams in a troy ounce of silver is involved. So just know that you guys probably have heard troy ounce before. Clearly, people have been stacking silver for a long time, already know this, but there's a difference between a troy ounce and an ounce when dealing with silver. And also remember, this is constitutional silver. It's 90%, so it's not pure. And this can get complicated and confusing with a lot of math. I'm just going to show you the difference in grams, plain and simple. So 50 Roosevelts weighed 125 grams. I'll leave that picture up there for a second. And when we compared it to the Mercury dimes, it weighed 121 grams. Now, remember, this doesn't mean 4 grams of silver are missing because this is 90% silver. So this is really cool, but kind of sad. It's why I like stacking constitutional silver for the history. But the half dollars were just awesome to kind of line up because you can see the wear over time. I have the newest, which is the Kennedys on the right, Franklin's in the middle, and then the oldest out of the 3, the Walkers, on the far left. And you can see there's just less and less between each stack. Kennedy's weighed a nice 250 grams, and Franklin's followed at 248 grams. And then last, we had the Walkers at 242 grams. If you need to see this again, you'll just have to pause it and look at the weights and everything like that. So the Kennedys to the Franklins, it's really not that big of a deal, 2 grams. And then when you're dealing with just the 90%, a big of a difference. But you really spot the difference in stack and weight when compared the Walkers to the Kennedys. And these aren't even like bad shaped Walkers either. Believe me, there is much much worse walkers out there. So this was kind of a generous stack, and I believe that the one on the bottom is kind of giving it a lift because it's bent. So the walkers are usually less than what you just saw in the picture. I almost just knocked the dimes over. So, and then you can see the Kennedys. There's just still so much detail. The rim is still intact. So I didn't do standing Liberty quarters because I don't stack them because they're really expensive. But you can even see the beating that these have taken as well. So that's why people will prefer the Washington quarters. Kind of a little bit more boring because, you know, we've seen them forever, but that's your better option right there. If you wanted, you know, a good standing Liberty quarter, just go get a graded one instead. So guys, that's all I have for today. As always, I hope you got something from this video, and I will see you in the next.